Netflix's live-action adaptation of One Piece is finally here, and this may come as a surprise, but it was more than good. It just might be a masterpiece. Due to Netflix's track record of live-action failures, most recently Cowboy Bebop, expectations and faith in their live-action adaptations were at an all-time low. This is what allowed the show to catch so many off guard by actually respecting the source material, the original One Piece manga by Eiichiro Oda, while adapting and omitting certain elements in order to properly pace the story and fit everything into 8 episodes. This is part of why this adaptation is so polarizing. On one hand, the casual One Piece fans who watched it years ago but lost track, such as myself, and complete first time viewers who've never seen the anime will enjoy it. And on the other hand, you have the hardcore anime fans who feel it is their duty to defend the anime, and others who the live action would never and could never live up to their expectations. And in the middle, hopefully, you have the One Piece fan who has seen every episode of the anime and loves the live action anyway for what it is and for bringing their favorite show to life. I'm glad I did not have any expectations going in, and I was surprised and filled with nostalgia seeing so many references and callbacks to the show I grew up with. It reminded me how cool the One Piece anime was when it released, and honestly has me thinking about going and picking the original show back up. What this adaptation does best is it stays true to each of the main characters, never changing their morals or making them act out of character. Each member of the Straw Hat crew were perfectly cast and seemingly approved by Oda himself from what I've seen in this interview he had with the actor who plays Luffy. Inaki Godoy was perfectly cast as Luffy. As Oda said, he is just like Luffy, and he is my favorite part of the show. Godoy as Luffy is goofy, loves to eat, is determined to become king of the pirates, will always fight for his friends, and pushes people to follow their dreams no matter what, just like he does. The actors who play Zoro, Sanji, and Nami all do an amazing job, as well as Usopp, who is cowardly and lies as much as usual, but is also super likable. Besides the main crew, the supporting cast is also great, such as Kobe, his friend with the bad haircut, and Garp, with Buggy and Alvida being the only questionable castings, but even they were okay. Most of the crew involved seems to have been fans of the original One Piece, and it shows in the love and respect the show has for the source material and the chemistry the actors have as the characters they are playing and with each other. The second strongest point of the show was the writing and storytelling. By dedicating each episode to a specific character or location and giving glimpses of their backstory through flashbacks, every character feels fleshed out. The costume and set design were also great, mixing practical effects and CGI and giving us a world that feels lived in and alive. Each episode adapts the arcs and stories of the original manga and anime and feels self contained in a way that each episode has a conclusion while also building the crew and contributing to the greater narrative. The writers had the task of fitting a lot of source material into only a few episodes, and they accomplished that by sacrificing some details but in a respectful manner. Most live action adaptations fail when they are changed to the point where they are no longer recognized by their core fan base. A good example is Amazon's The Wheel of Time. My wife, who has read all of the books to date, has noticed many major character and story changes to the point where she jokes that it must be loosely based on the books. She has also happened to have read all of the Harry Potters and notes that those movies do a much better job while still leaving out a lot themselves. Netflix One Piece is not perfect, and I'm not going to pretend that it is. It does make some major changes due to cramming so much content into 8 episodes, and the CGI and art direction might not be for everyone. The show's biggest limitation, and now its most common criticism, is the changes that had to be made due to the time and budget constraints, and storylines having to be left out, such as the battle with Don Krieg at Baratier, instead being replaced with a fight with Arlong. If we're given more episodes, then Don Krieg could have been introduced properly, and it was nice to still see him in the show even if short-lived. Given the short season that we were, Arlong to me was the right replacement. This revision allowed Arlong to be built up as a bigger threat and gave Luffy something extra to overcome in their second fight. The first season was 8 episodes and covered 45 episodes worth of the anime. So why didn't they just slow down the show and save Arlong for season 2? While with how closely the show is following the source material, it has over 105 volumes of manga and over 1,000 episodes of anime to draw from. Ending the season at the end of the East Blue Saga leaves season 2 open to begin with the Logtown arc and move on to cover the Arabasta arc and introduce characters such as Ace and Crocodile. Honestly, it's hard for me to get into a lot of shows. I'll give a show a try, and usually after a few episodes, I'll know if I'll be finishing it or not. With One Piece, I was hooked immediately and was disappointed when I had to go to sleep night one and finish it the next morning in 2 days total. While it may be too early to tell if it is a masterpiece, Netflix's One Piece is an amazing TV show that respects the source material and that I would recommend to anyone who loves One Piece, or pirates, or just good storytelling. Let me know one thing that you liked about the show, one thing you disliked, and what you want to see in season 2. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.